Okay. Tiny Thor. Steam demo? Do I have to do a lot of work to get to it? I don't. Alright. Let's check this game out. So let's start out with, I think IndieForge is the publisher? GameForge? IndieForge, GF IndieForge. So I do think that's what that is. So this looks like a new initiative from GameForge aimed at supporting the growth and success of smaller, independent studios from around the world. So GameForge itself has about 9,000 followers. IndieForge has 500, so I guess we'll call this like the publisher. So let's just, before we go any further, see what they have. They have a couple of other games. Not huge on the reviews, but they do have some. Well, that one actually did well. Swords of Legend Online, free to play. Okay, so that's them. Let's see if this team has made any other games. Asylum Square. Featured. What is this called? Absolute Blue. Mixed reviews. So we got Pirates Gold. Oh, that's a totally different game. That already released. Where is... Okay, it's up here. Featured. Alright. So definitely into like pirates and something that's not pirates. It looks like R-Type. Actually looks pretty cool, but... Okay. So let's check out this Tiny Thor Steam page. Alright, let's... You know what? This looks like a fun one. See what's going on.
We are gonna make a petition to the developer to give
No!
a name to that bee. It's gonna be the Patek bee.
So this was something we currently discussing, because right now you can just use the controller to put it downwards, and then he falls through the platform. Yeah. And we're discussing it if you should also be pushing the jump button, so that this what happened to you right now.
Yeah, multiple times.
Okay, all right. So a decent video here, probably one of the better ones we've seen so far. So that's nice. Tiny Thor, pretty good name, pretty good capsule here actually. This is really nice. I mean, this shows me that, like, you know, kind of the cartoony graphics that we're going for. Can't really tell based on this if it's, you know, 16-bit or 8-bit or modernized, but that's not really a huge deal, because this just makes me feel like I'm Thor walking around with a hammer. I don't know, like I just already kind of feel that. So that's actually really cool. Let's check this. You know, let's pause this. Let's check this video here. All right. Got that throwback retro music. Maybe that's an indication of what the game has itself. Nice jump. Very familiar. Very Sonic-like, I guess, in that case. Oh, all right. Showing off a little... A couple of things we're showing off on this level. We've got it, it's timed essentially, because we have that kind of like swarm coming in from left to right, and then we're showing off some of the bouncing. Looks very difficult, so it looks like it has that 90s kind of difficulty to it. Very Sonic again there. Yeah, weirdly enough, I feel like Sonic is a really big inspiration for this, based on the way a lot of this stuff operates. Cool trailer. Not really much on the sound side, so I do wish we had a little more of that. But it did look cool. So here's our gameplay trailer now. So that was our cinematic trailer. This is gameplay, basically gameplay, plus just some music in the background, I'm sure. Nice variety of levels. Decent songs, a little loud. And again, not enough on the actual game sounds, but that's not a huge deal. I don't know what the sounds sound like. All right, and then we're taken to a screenshot that looks pretty varied and not exactly like what we just saw. This one kind of does, but that's not a big deal. Showing a boss fight or something like it. A map screen, it's nice to have that in there. More of the levels. I mean, this looks really like a really well done Steam page. Really good choice of images. So far, I haven't felt like any that I was looking at the same thing over and over. Maybe those two just they're kind of in the same area, and I don't know if this one really gives you much more except a different enemy type. And then these two are pretty similar. This one doesn't really add anything for me. This one's cool. It does show kind of what was in the trailer. This one is obviously a little different. Not really that necessary, probably, but anyway, pretty cool. Nice and quality when you click them. Okay, unleash the bouncy power of Mjolnir. In this retro platformer, use the mighty hammer and many other power-ups to travel the realms of Asgard. But watch out, some mythical creatures will do everything to stop Thor from growing up. Perfect. It's great. Except for the growing up part, which doesn't really... It's kind of weird because it's not mentioned anywhere else. So I don't really understand that part, but the rest of it's really good. Of course, IndieForge has their stuff here. GameForge, IndieForge, very confusing having two different names there, but that's okay. Interface, subtitles, got a lot of languages. That's nice. And updates, right about a month apart. Look at that. 3 weeks ago, January. Oh, big break between those. Big break between those again. Decided not to beat the development time world record of Duke Nukem Forever. So it looks like maybe it was going to be released before, but maybe there was a little delay in it, and that's okay. Been working on it for a while, so you can see that all the way back to 2021, 2020. Wow, this has been worked on for quite some time. 2017. All right, long development cycle. Interesting thing is that they probably gathered a lot of wish lists since they've had that long cycle. They've also lost a lot of wish lists, but that's okay. So I like that. Tiny Thor features 16-bit graphics and around Mjolnir. Okay, and then here we go. We have a nice, easy join our community button right here. 311 members. Would have expected a little more than that with the time frame that we've had, but that's okay. And again, one of the other things that I've mentioned on a couple of pages is we do have a nice GIF right here in the page. Good choice. Also, these little characters really add to the page. It's a pretty good looking page. Nice GIF here, showing some gameplay that's varied from what we saw earlier. Boss fights, obviously this is one of the images from above, but now it just shows the boss fight a little more. Again, I love all the little emojis added into everything. I think that just really adds to the game. So, and you see more from IndieForge down here at the bottom. You notice how something different with these guys? Because there is a button here that says check out the franchise, but they're not putting it in your face before their game. So they're really looking like they're pushing this game, which is really cool to see. Obviously, we have the Discord server here on the right side, just like we had on the left side. Now, I do see there's IndieForge here. There's nothing about actually Asylum Square, so I don't know if they are doing anything kind of separately, but not really seeing anything about them individually. Let's make sure the website link works. Nice to click links. All right, that's cool. Just pretty much a kind of like a Steam page embed. IndieForge on YouTube. 400 subscribers. Okay. And it's cool to see that Tiny Thor is the first game that comes up there, so that's really cool. And of course, community groups. Actually, I meant to hit discussions. All right. Got some stuff about it. Looks like it's pretty popular. Asking to put it on iArcade. Remove from wish list. Let's click it. Guess it will never be done, and without an accurate release date, F it. And that's not what you want. Currently playing the demo, it's quite fun, but the demo is not the whole game, so distant smaller side project. So this was last year. Yeah, and this is of course one of the things that you'll get whenever it's in development for a long time. So that's why there's so much stuff here. A lot of this stuff is from 2022. 1, 2, 3. There's still about 3 from this year. 3 discussions so far this year. So obviously it's got a little bit of traction. You know, like we've been doing, let's kind of make this guess. So game's been in development a long time, so it's going to organically bring, you know, some number of wish lists every single year, maybe even as much as 1,000. They've done Steam Next Fest once, so you got to figure they got a couple thousand there. They've got some help from the publishing side, you know, bringing some things in from the other games maybe. So I can't imagine, you know, we should really... This thing should really be like 10, 15,000 wish lists. Like, I feel like we shouldn't be below that. So I would expect the followers to be a good bit over 1,000, maybe as much as 1,500, something like that, on the SteamDB page. So let's see if we can find out. Tiny Thor. Haven't been really super accurate with these yet, but maybe this is the one. Okay, it's even higher than I thought, so that's okay. I was on the right track. I knew it had quite a bit on there. I just didn't quite go high enough. So you got to figure this game's got 25 to 35,000 wish list, you know, based on that number. So good. Number 701 in wish list. Cool looking game. They need to release it. They need to keep people up to date on what they're doing here. Yeah, and I guess this is recent, this collaboration back this month. So maybe the collaboration is helping them to get the game released, because that's the biggest thing this needs more than anything else, is just to be released. I mean, obviously it's, you know, the developers want it to be in the right state. They don't want to just push it out. But it looks like they have some people really wanting this game, and they really need to get this thing released. So maybe Q2 2023 we'll see it. Yeah, cool page. Well done. I really like this page. I think this is a great page to mimic and mirror yourself after. I would basically put this at 9+, 9.5. Can't really give out 10s, but let's give it a 9.5. Maybe a couple of points docked for a couple of images that could maybe be swapped out or removed altogether, and lack of sound, game sound on the gameplay and cinematic trailers, so you just don't really get to hear the game that much. So a little bit off for that. Maybe 9.25 now that I've tucked myself out of it. So cool page though. Look forward to that game. That's really cool.